从经典演说当中练习正确的发音这个我是从我15个频道里面，其中有一个经典演说篇里面摘出来第11集的叫罗斯福总统提出4大自由在美国国会里面演说The Four Freedoms 非常有名的因为前面在经典演说篇里面我们都解释过意思这边就不讲意思，只是练发音在练习发音的时候第一个咬字尤其是母音每一个单字的咬字要准第二个就是要停顿停顿非常重要，不要念太快也不要这个停顿的地方不正确停顿的话，第一个自己可以缓口气第二个人家听起来也比较轻松，而且它有必要碰到逗点碰到动词碰到一些连接词碰到一些标点符号这些都要停顿一下。第三个抑扬顿挫我们念一下这几个地方注意一下。National policy is thus: first, by an impressive expression of the public, with and without regard to partisanship, we are committed to our inclusive national defense. Second, by impressive expression of public will and without regard to partisanship, we are committed to full support of all those resolute peoples everywhere who are resisting aggression and are thereby keeping war away from our hemisphere. By the support, we express our determination that the democratic cause shall prevail, and we strengthen the defense and the security of our own nation. Third, by an impressive expression of the public will and without regard to partisanship, we are committed to the proposition, the principles of morality and considerations for our own security will never permit us to acquiesce in the peace dictated by aggressors and sponsored by appeasers. We know that enduring peace cannot be bought by the cost of other people's freedom. In the recent national election, there was no substantial difference between the two great parties in respect to national policy. No each was fought out on this land before the American electorate. Today, it is abundantly evident that American citizens everywhere are demanding and supporting speedy and complete action in recognition of obvious danger. Therefore, the immediate need is a swift and driving increase in our armament production. Leaders of industry and labor have responded to our summons. Goals of speed have been set. In some cases, the goals have been reached ahead of time. In some cases, we are on schedule. In other cases, there are slight but not serious delays. And in some cases, and I'm sorry to say very important cases, we are all concerned by the slowness of the accomplishment of our plans. The Army and Navy, however, have made substantial progress during the past year. Actual experience is improving and speeding up our methods of production with every passing day. And today's best is not good enough for tomorrow. I'm not satisfied with the progress thus far made. The men in charge of the program represent the best in training, in ability, and in patriotism. They are not satisfied with the progress thus far made. None of us will be satisfied until the job is done. No matter whether the original goal was set too high or too low, our objective is quicker and better results. To give you 2 illustrations. We're behind schedule in turning out finished airplanes. We're working day and night to solve the innumerable problems and to catch up. We are ahead of schedule in building warships, but we are working to get even further ahead of that schedule. To change your whole nation from the basis of peacetime production of implements of peace to a basis of wartime production of implements of war is no small task. And the greatest difficulty comes at the beginning of the program. when new tours, new plant facilities, new assembly lines, and new shipways must first be constructed before the actual material begins to flow steadily and speedily from them. The Congress, of course, must rarely keep itself informed at all times of the progress of the program. However, there is certain information as the Congress itself will readily recognize which, in the interest of our own security and those of nations that we are supporting, must needs be kept in confidence. New circumstances are constantly begetting new needs for our safety. I shall ask this Congress for greatly increased new appropriations and authorizations to carry out what we have begun. I also ask this Congress for authority and for funds sufficient to manufacture additional munitions and war supplies of many kinds, to be turned over to those nations which are now in actual war with aggressive nations. Our most useful and immediate role is to act as an arsenal for them as well as for ourselves. They do not need manpower, but they do need billions of dollars worth of weapons of defense. The time is near when they will not be able to pay for them only ready cash. We cannot, and we will not, tell them that they must surrender, merely because of present inability to pay for the weapons which we know they must have. I do not recommend that we make them a loan of dollars with which to pay for these weapons, a loan to be repaid in dollars. I recommend that we make it possible for those nations to continue to obtain war materials in the United States, fitting their orders into our own program. Nearly all their material would, if the time ever can, be useful for our own defense. Taking counsel of expert military and naval authorities, considering what is best for our own security, we are free to decide how much should be kept here and how much should be sent abroad to our friends who, by their determined and heroic resistance, are giving us time in which to make ready our own defense. For what we send abroad, we shall be repaid within a reasonable time following the close of hostilities in similar materials or at our option in other goods of many kinds, which they can produce and which we need. Let us say to the democracies, we Americans are vitally concerned in your defense of freedom. We are putting forth our energies, our resources, and our organizing powers to give you the strength to regain and maintain a free world. We shall send you in ever-increasing numbers ships, planes, tanks, guns. This is our purpose and our pledge. In fulfillment of this purpose, we will not be intimidated by the threats of dictators that they will regard as a breach of international law or as an act toward our aid to the democracies we dare to resist their aggression. Such aid is not an act of war, even if a dictator should unilaterally proclaim is so to be. If the dictators are ready to make war upon us, they will not wait for an act of war on our part. They did not wait for Normandy or Belgium or the Netherlands to commit an act of war. Their only interest is in a new one-way international law which lacks mutuality in its observance and therefore becomes an instrument of oppression. The happiness of future generations of Americans may well depend upon how effective and how immediate we can make our aid felt. No one can tell the exact character of the emergency situations that we may be called upon to meet. The nation's hand must not be tied when the nation's life is in danger. 好，分上下两篇啊，我们上集念到这里。